I want to make it clear that India has planned an attack targeting Pakistani citizens to carry out terrorism. And I have no hesitation in making it clear that I want to say that if India makes any move, no Indian will be safe throughout India. And we have a response for it. And the response will be beyond their expectations. I said this was a statement by the Foreign Minister of Pakistan during a press conference held after the National Security Committee meeting, and the National Security Committee's communique had been issued before that. In it, India's act of stopping the water of rivers flowing towards Pakistan was considered an act of war. And obviously, if a country declares war against another country, then what response the other country gives does not require rocket science. Nor do I need to tell you that, obviously, if war is initiated, it will respond according to its capability and circumstances. Surprisingly, at that time, both in documents and in the air, as well as on the ground, India had a significant and frightening disadvantage in terms of defense. From the Rajasthan base, its aircraft barely took off, and from Mianwali, the message was sent that we are already stationed there. Once in the past 48 hours, they dared to fly aircraft from there, but within half an hour or so, they returned without daring to approach Pakistan or having the courage to fly further. Anyway, that was just an aside, but there was a press conference and it was a very assertive and comprehensive one. The Information Minister, Mr. Tariq, was also present, who was obviously conducting the whole thing. However, it was a joint press conference by Pakistan's Defense Minister, Foreign Minister, Law Minister, Attorney General, and Information Minister, and they conveyed that they had come to inform. They said, "No, dear brother, this Indus Water Treaty, IWT, cannot be unilaterally suspended or terminated, and we will not allow you to terminate it. We will approach every relevant forum." Although I thought I would present to you the proceedings of the National Security meeting that reached us, since the Defense Minister has said they will have to play to their nose. As we say in Punjabi, we will hit them on their noses. Many other things were discussed in this conference as well. The National Security Conference of Pakistan was held under the chairmanship of Pakistan's Prime Minister, Mr. Shehbaz Sharif. A detailed discussion was held on the incident in Pahalgam, Anantnag, Islamabad, expressing concern over the loss of tourists' lives. The announced Indian measures were reviewed and deemed unilateral, unfair, politically motivated, extremely irresponsible, and illegal. Kashmir is an unresolved dispute between Pakistan and India, recognized through numerous United Nations resolutions. Pakistan will continue to support the Kashmiri people's right to self-determination. The continuous Indian state repression, revocation of state status, and political and demographic manipulations have led to a natural and local reaction from the people of illegally Indian-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, resulting in an atmosphere of violence and the systematic oppression against minorities, especially Muslims in India, has further intensified. The forced attempts to pass the Waqf bill are the latest efforts to marginalize Muslims across India. Instead of exploiting such tragic events, India should fully accept the responsibility for its failure to provide protection to its people. Pakistan condemns all forms of terrorism indiscriminately And India's narrative of victimhood cannot hide its own culpability in fueling terrorism on Pakistani soil, nor can it justify the Indian occupation in Kashmir. The National Security Committee condemned the threats implied in the Indian statement on April 23rd. The international community should ensure that India is stopped from carrying out extrajudicial killings or operations on foreign soil under state sponsorship. It was later explained in a press conference that coincidentally, Australia expelled 2 Indian diplomats today for their involvement in an attempted murder. Canada has done this before as well. Justin Trudeau formally issued a démarche. He presented a file to them stating that your raw agents have been caught operating within Canada. The United States is conducting a trial within its own country for an Indian diplomat involved in the conspiracy to murder a Sikh leader after having him deported from India. An Indian diplomat involved in terrorism was arrested in Czechoslovakia, now the Czech Republic, and deported to the United States. This is the same state of India where a serving commander, Kulbushan Yadav, was caught running a terrorism network in Pakistan's province of Balochistan, and his confessional statement is available. India has acknowledged him as their own person. They went to the International Court of Justice and admitted that yes, he is an officer of our services, and indeed he was appointed in Chabahar. All right, India has already acknowledged all of this, so Mr. Khawaja also explained this background, stating that India should refrain from systematically exploiting incidents like Pahalgam and making accusations to advance its political agenda. Such tactics only escalate tensions in Kashmir and become obstacles to peace and stability in the region. It is condemnable that the puppet media, under the influence of the Indian state, is endangering regional peace. India needs to seriously reconsider this matter. The committee has made the following decisions. We strongly reject India's announcement to postpone the Indus Waters Treaty. This treaty is an international agreement brokered by the World Bank, and there is no provision for unilateral suspension in it. At this point, Mr. Ishaq Dar stated that the decisions made yesterday were handed over to Pakistan's acting ambassador by India's Ministry of External Affairs, and it does not include any supportive part regarding the decision to suspend the Indus Waters Treaty, which India has been making a lot of noise about in the media. Considering India's reckless and irresponsible behavior of ignoring international conventions, United Nations Security Council resolutions, and international obligations at its own discretion, Pakistan reserves the right to suspend all bilateral agreements with India at this time, which will not be limited to the Simla Agreement, until India adheres to international laws and United Nations resolutions on Kashmir and stops cross-border violence. This means that the Simla Agreement is also suspended, and Pakistan announces the immediate closure of the Wagah border. All cross-border movement from India through this route is halted. Without any exceptions, it will remain suspended. Those who have legally crossed the Pakistan-India border as friends can return. This means that Afghanistan has been slapped, so to speak, because at that time Pakistan had given Afghanistan the right to bring goods on their trucks from Torkham to Wagah. And from here, they could enter India by land. As a result, all of Afghanistan's exports to India have been halted. It is considered halted. Afghans used to bring goods from Central Asia to export here, and that too has been suspended. Consequently, the gypsum that was being recklessly exported to India by some short-sighted individuals in Pakistan which India was using to make cement and build dams over the rivers flowing into Pakistan, will also see its export halted. Pakistan should also stop the export of salt. This is a good opportunity to halt the export of salt as well. I believe it wasn't happening via land routes before, it was through sea routes. So, this is the perfect opportunity to stop the export of Pakistan's salt, especially the pink salt, to India. I had forgotten to advise on this earlier. The SAR-C visas that have been issued to Indian citizens are being suspended, cancelled, and revoked. Meanwhile, the visas issued to businessmen from other SAARC member countries will remain valid. India has declared the Indian Defense, Naval, and Air Attaches in Islamabad as persona non grata, and they must leave Pakistan by April 30th. From April 25, the number of diplomatic staff at the Indian High Commission in Islamabad will also be limited to 30. All airlines owned by India and operating from India have been immediately suspended from Pakistan's airspace. It is reported that daily 400 Indian Airlines flights pass over Pakistan to Central Asia and Afghanistan, and some think that this didn't happen the last time during Vajpayee's era. 25 years ago, there were 800 flights a week from India that were stopped. Now it is known that there are 400 flights daily, so now it has become 2,800. 2,800 flights will either be stopped or disturbed, or they will have to avoid passing through Pakistan. On this side of Pakistan is China, so the only option left is the sea, and if they go via Dubai, it will be very costly. This will make their airlines non-viable. It's good to cause damage to the enemy, right? The National Security Committee emphasized this step of stopping flights. While the rest of the actions reduced Pakistan's attack, Pakistan reduced their attack, they revoked visas, and we revoked visas. All right. They said, "Sir, we are suspending the Indus Waters Treaty compensation." We said, "No, you cannot do that. This act of stopping flights is a strong response. You conducted 5 explosions, we conducted 6. That 6th explosion is also fine. So that's done." Now, in the next blog, I have to tell you what happened inside this National Security Committee meeting. Okay, my inside information is very troubling for Geo's monkeys. Okay, so let them remain troubled, although I share very little of that information which is digestible and necessary to boost the morale of the people of Pakistan and to curse the enemy. I, the humble one, share that. The rest you have to figure out yourself. Yes, the humble one is also very clever. That's all for now. In the next blog, I will be present again. May Allah grant you ease and the ability to distribute ease among the creation of God.